Good morning, TikTok. Okay, so this video is going to be on a 2007 Ford Focus. I'm not going to be able to show the start of the testing because I actually lost the first few clips, but the vehicle come in on a tow truck to us, come in as a no start. Car was immobilised, so the little red immobiliser light on the dash was flashing. The story with this was the customer initially replaced the transmission mount. Since then the vehicle wouldn't start, so my initial tests were obviously do a fault report. We had no communication with the PCM, the ABS module and the TCM. From there I started checking main power feeds and we realised that we had no power going to the relay that basically powers up those three units. So it's an ignition fed relay in the engine bay fuse box. I had a good load side feed, so we had a good 12 volt feed to it, but that relay wasn't getting grounded by the PCM, which then sends the ignition powers to the other modules. Now what we found on there was going to the PCM powers, we were missing a constant power feed on a green and blue wire that was going to the PCM. So this video will cut in from there when we basically checked and found where that pinched and broken wire was. Alright, so what we found with this initially is we started chasing our wiring back. So our main PCM feed is on that green and blue wire there. Now ignition on, we didn't have 12 volts. So what I'll do is I'll stick this ignition on now just to show you the car is all fixed. That's our ignition. And as you can see, we've got 12 volts to the PCM. Now that 12 volt feed comes from this relay here. This relay gets grounded. And basically sends 12 volts out. So I had a good load side power feed to this relay. That relay was getting control, but we weren't getting 12 volts to the fuses and to the PCM. So from there we started chasing our wiring back. Reason being is we pulled this connector off and checked from that pin there, which is pin 1, where our green and blue wire is, that runs up to there. Had no continuity, and what we found was just down here, which I'm unsure how it actually got broken, but we had a pinched wire. So this blue and green wire just down there was pinched down the bottom. So we've resoldered that, we've put it all back together, insulated it and put it back in the harness, and you can see the tape down there. And since we've fixed that, this is all sorted. So just a note to everyone, be careful if you're going to do any mechanical work. Make sure you don't cause any more problems than what you initially had and bust any harnesses, because that can get expensive. And this had an auto let go out to it mobile. They initially were leaning towards a PCM. I don't know if it's been replaced and it's got record numbers on it, but that's where we're at anyway. Alright, so we're pretty much back together with our Ford. As you can see, I've got battery, got the airboxes in, all the ECU box and everything. All I got left is the airbox and the engine cover, but we are all sorted. So pinched wire down there, and this thing is good to go.